Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast, thousands filled ferries or just strolled into town, lining the streets of Cruz Bay in celebration of a grand diamond jubilee for St. John's Festival's 60th anniversary. 4th of July marked the St. John Festival Parade, where troops and bystanders alike came out to play mass. The parade was headed by the Grand Marshal Honoree Elsie Trotman, St. John's royalty and their courts, Junior Miss Faze Harrigan, Miss St. John Princess Tasia Maduro, and Miss St. John Festival Queen Carell Thomas, and other troops such as the Hug a Bunch, Bobby and the Moo-Moos, Weston's Carnival Troupe, and We Dem Jumbies and Real Mass with fireworks later that evening. Now, of course, festivities kicked off May 31st with the panorama and continued with the crowning of royalty, bike races, senior variety shows, the musical mix, the food fair, coronation, and boat races. The Smithsville Village, honoring Miss Leona Smith, opened on June 27th, and many gathered to hear the sounds of local and international bands and artists such as Cool Sessions Brass, Spectrum Band, Triple K, the Core Band, Denise Belfon, and Michelle Montano, and that's just to name a few. Senator Kenneth Gittens gave his reaction to a boating accident that occurred just before the big day on the St. John route, July 3rd. He gave the kudos to many civilian volunteers who were on their own private boats that were able to act fast and respond to the aid of the individuals. There were no fatalities, but he critiqued those departments responsible for addressing maritime incidents.
Just this month, the departments of police, the Department of Health, where the EMS is housed, and the Department of Planning and Natural Resources, which has a maritime enforcement entity, came before the Senate for budget hearings. One of the inquiries made of these entities were their preparedness or readiness for maritime incidents, especially in light of the St. John July 4th festivities. With the increased numbers of persons going back and forth from St. Thomas to St. John and vice versa, our emergency first responding agencies should be ready for these types of emergencies and eventualities. Absent these emergency situations, from a law enforcement and safety standpoint, these agencies should also be proactive in safeguarding our territory's shores, the people and visitors alike. So I am truly disappointed that none of these entities were readily on hand to address this boat accident.
In other news, major crime detectives on St. Thomas are investigating a disturbance and 2 shootings that occurred in the Tutu residential community. According to the preliminary report, on July 4th, about 10:24 a.m., police were dispatched to a disturbance involving several persons in which one male was shot in his leg. While investigating the case, police officers fatally wounded another male, identified as 23-year-old Obenson Antoine, who had a firearm in his possession. Police investigation revealed that the confrontation involved a vehicle, that of Antoine, being towed, and Antoine's family confronting the family that owns the towing company. Police arrested several persons, including Antoine's sister, Nellie Antoine, Miguel Gerson, and Shamal Gabriel. They were charged with various violations. The investigation is ongoing. If you have any information, you can contact 911 or Crime Stoppers USVI. Officials from the Department of Planning and Natural Resources are defending their progress on fixing the findings from federal agencies. DPNR Commissioner Alicia Barnes said although 2 of the agency's divisions were considered high-risk grantees by the federal government, one label will be removed this month while the agency appeals the other. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
The Department of Planning and Natural Resources, or DPNR, is recording 1 victory and 1 setback. The federal government labeled both the agency's Fish and Wildlife Division and its environmental side as high-risk grantees by their federal grantors.
The Division of Fish and Wildlife specifically was designated as a high-risk grantee because of some specific findings.
Those findings were the result of a 2012 audit, and the high-risk status went into effect on August 1, 2013. U.S. Fish and Wildlife officials in a letter to DPNR say they'll be removing that label effective July 31st because the division is now in full compliance.
We prepared what is known as corrective action plans, and I'm very pleased to announce that as a result of our efforts and the oversight and guidance from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, they have in fact advised us that that high-risk grantee designation will in fact be released.
That good news comes after a May notice from the EPA that they plan to put that high-risk label on the department, which could affect the funding the agency gets from the federal government. DPNR officials say they've been working to address the problems raised by the EPA in both a 2007 and 2008 audit, problems related to their management system, and the findings from an on-site inspection in 2012. The high-risk status was delayed then to give DPNR time to draft and implement a plan of correction. Because that plan submitted in February didn't meet the requirements, the designation was applied. DPNR officials are now appealing the decision. Erica Parsons, News 2.
DPNR officials said they are waiting for the EPA to review the appeal, and they haven't gotten a response to the June request as yet. Count on 2 to keep you updated. More than 200 farmers, agriculturists, and experts representing 22 countries came from far and wide to St. Thomas, and farming is the huge topic. From today until Friday at Sugar Bay Resort and Spa, agriculture-oriented individuals and organizations will be looking at ways to advance the agriculture industry and make it work with the region's blooming tourism sector. News 2's April Knight has more.
We are in the process of discussing for the past several decades the revival of our local agriculture industry.
The Caribbean could be looking at a more state-of-the-art agriculture industry. This week, the Caribbean Food Crop Society is holding their 50th annual meeting on St. Thomas with the theme Enhancing Family Farms Through Sustainable Energy, Research and Technology.
Our industry has declined for many reasons. We have evolved into a society that relies more on tourism, but as we have said, and that we're working toward, agriculture and tourism go hand in hand.
We must embrace sustainable practices which help to create the better farming opportunities for our small farmers and co-ops.
More than 60 technical papers and 40 presentations will be featured in front of some 200 people, scientists, researchers, farmers, and agriculturists, sharing the latest advancements in agriculture. But since farming, according to the Caribbean Food Crop Society President Kwame Garcia, is not all academic, the attendees will also get the chance to look at the local farms, including Ivana Eudorican's tilapia farm and the Coral Bay Organic Gardens on St. John. They'll also visit the Senepal Cattle Farm on St. Croix, which was once the breadbasket of the Caribbean.
Many years ago, the society said that we wanted to learn from the farmers themselves what is happening in the country that we go to, or the territory that we go to.
But on top of all this, what the annual meeting does is allow Caribbean farmers to network and talk, all in the spirit of reviving and strengthening the region's agriculture industry. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Now, the 50th annual meeting of the CFCS, which goes on until Friday, July 11th at Sugar Bay Resort, is a collaborative effort between local and regional agriculture agencies. Turning our attention overseas, people flying from foreign countries to the United States could be headed for long lines at security checkpoints. The Transportation Security Administration has ordered extra security for inbound flights, especially those coming in from Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Craig Boswell has more details from Reagan National Airport in Arlington, Virginia.
Putting electronic devices through security may not be enough for some travelers overseas. The Transportation Security Administration says cell phones, tablets, and laptops must power up or they will be left behind. The TSA is checking for possible hidden bombs and says if a device does not turn on, the owner may be subject to additional screenings. Passengers flying out of London's Heathrow Airport and Manchester are being told to make sure their electronic devices are fully charged before they arrive.
I hope this won't lead to unnecessary delays, but it's very important that we always put safety first, and we do.
Intelligence sources tell CBS News one of the biggest concerns is that terrorists may have found a way to hide a bomb in a cell phone case.
They've got intelligence that indicates new types of devices that are difficult to detect with our existing processes and technologies.
Officials say there is no imminent threat of an attack and that this is an additional way to check for potential threats.
Sometimes these random procedures do have additional security value.
The changes will be implemented over the next several days in order to give the public time to make adjustments. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Arlington, Virginia.
Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, it's back to business on Wall Street after the Dow closed in record territory on Thursday above the 17,000 mark for the first time ever. Recreational marijuana shops can start opening their doors in Washington state tomorrow. The state started issuing retail marijuana licenses overnight, a year and 8 months after voters legalized the drugs. Prices are expected to be high because of a short supply. Colorado is the only other state with legalized pot. Here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all down. The Dow 44, Nasdaq 34, S&P 7. Coming up on News 2, our summer fun segment, another fun event you can add to your list of things to do this summer to prevent any summertime blues. Plus, the melee was all about mangoes at the 18th annual Mango Melee and Tropical Fruit Festival. That was held at the St. George Village Botanical Garden, and it was not about mangoes on display only. We'll share some of the juicy highlights. Now that St. John Festival events are over, there's still a lot of fun things to do. If you're looking for something fun and exciting to do for the summer while at the same time getting a good workout, why not try stand-up paddleboarding? It's a water sport that's becoming increasingly popular for all ages. You simply stand up on a board and propel yourself across the water with a paddle. This no-impact sport will give you a strong core workout. Lessons are available with different companies on all 3 islands, and boards are available to rent as well. So look into it, and happy surfing. Well, Coral World is pleased to announce that this summer will conclude a banner year for local youth who have received paid internships or volunteer positions for hands-on experiences and on-the-job learning with the animals at the park. Over the years, Coral World reps say they have seen an increase in the number of local high school and university students who have sought internships or part-time employment at the park. Coral World hosts 2,500 to 3,000 school children and their teachers annually for free and offers steep discounts to summer camp groups. Kudos to the present interns, Mercedes Campbell, Brianne Corey, Dale Carty II, Ashley Patchen, Taquan Smalls, and Race Patchen, Carty II, Ezra Carty, Janisha Albane, Charles Martin, Rachel Revelinsky, Maya Thomas, and Stephanie Stanley. Congrats to all the interns. Well, the sun was shining for the 18th annual Mango Melee and Tropical Fruit Festival at the St. George Village Botanical Garden. The fairgrounds were filled with hundreds of people who came to see, taste, and enjoy local mangoes and various other tropical fruits. The highlight was the mango eating contest. 9 kids under 12 competed in the children's, with Faija Merchant emerging as the winner. For the first time ever, there was a tie in the adults contest, which led to a mango eat-off. Hector Gordon ate 3 additional mangoes faster than Olabayu Kaz to defend his title and claim to victory.
You don't have to worry about the competition because I don't think there's any competition right now. Just come hungry. That's all the secret is. Come hungry.
Good advice there. Well, what are the prices looking like at the pumps? The wholesale price for regular and premium by 6 cents decrease, and the price of diesel by 8 cents per gallon after Hovenza adjusted their rack rates. Independent gas station operators in the territory are now paying $3.57 per gallon for regular, $3.78 per gallon for premium, and $3.42 per gallon for diesel fuel when they buy their fuel wholesale at Hovenza. Those prices, of course, include the 14 cents per gallon tax the refinery collects for the government. So be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.